don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. It's crap gay. Frogs.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder we have got an interesting video. What happened in Green Hills? What happened in Green Hills indeed? Over the last week or so we've been trying to work out what has happened in Green Hills. Is it some kind of nuclear attack? An alien invasion? Why was the city deserted? Was it that everybody turned into nuclear-armed combatants which fought in the Israeli-Lebanese war? And then went on to Chernobyl to annihilate everything? Anything is possible at this point, and hopefully that this video can give us some answers. So we're going to watch it all the way through, and then we're going to try and do a little bit of a breakdown of it, just for your eyes only. Let's get started and see what has happened to the isolated city. So my initial thoughts from this trailer are chemtrails being distributed from the skies on the worrying population of Green Hills. Also the fact that we deep dive into the water at the end makes me think about Godzilla and how maybe he has taken over Green Hills, or maybe it's a much simpler solution, such as the frogs were turned gay by the chemtrails coming down from the sky, then the frogs actually bit the humans, turning them into some weird human-animal hybrids which went on to fight in the Iraqi war, and that is why Baghdad fell on that day. Anything is possible at this point. Anything in our imagination may be true, so let's try and break it down. So the opening scene is of a school bus showing that children have been even affected by whatever happened in Green Hills. Seems like they've been affected mainly by rust. Maybe they are robots after all. Who knows? Maybe when somebody hits 18 they actually become human, and before that, instead, they are just some weird, wonderful test tube experiment. As you can also see behind it, we seem to have some skyscrapers, maybe some office buildings, or even places where people used to live until the Fire Nation attacked. Let's have a look next. We also see in the background over here that there's some kind of monorail, or maybe some place where people come in and out of the city, some tubular system that we see on Futurama, maybe showing that this is a future city that was built by the Americans to try and work out what the effects of the future would be on the American population. Anything could be possible. The other thing that it might be is it might be the monorail out of The Simpsons, and if you remember how that ended, well, it definitely didn't end in a loving way. There was a few fires and burns, and there wasn't exactly a phoenix coming out of those ashes. Let's see. Breaking news, the West Hills Herald. So why, first of all, are the West Hills reporting on the Green Hills? Is it some kind of conspiracy where the West Hills is trying to downplay or increase what is going on in Green Hills? This would be like the New York Times reporting on California. You've always got to be a little bit skeptical because the New York Times, obviously representing New York in its official capacity, what happens is if they go after other places, the news might be skewed. Let's see what it says. Green Hills factory accident left the whole state without a chemical industry. Okay, so we've already got that the chemical industry was annihilated in Green Hills after some kind of accident. Now the question is what the accident was. Well, as we saw from our research in the other three videos, there was a lad who got himself stuck in one of the chambers and died. But the question was that a one-off, or was that one which was reported? Is it a fact that people were going into these furnaces and coming out as super soldiers where there was an issue, where this guy was against the norm and unfortunately disappeared? Or maybe he was the only one who had family. Good old David. Why is the city still closed? Numerous factors can cause accidents. Why is the city still closed? Will citizens ever get back home? Who knows? Maybe it's because of the chemtrails. Maybe it is because of the frogs. Or maybe it is because it is a nuclear wasteland with radiation all over it, which if you touch it turns you into a cyborg. Anything is possible. Why is the city still closed with a picture of people going in and out of the city? This is a weird picture. Because the thing is, it kind of shows us what's on the monorail. It may not be a monorail, but a motorway into the city, but it shows people going in and out. Is this fake news? The news media would have definitely been shown to lie over the last year or two, or even the last 10 or 20 when it comes to key events in history. Is this another one of them? We can see clearly in this picture that people are coming, people are going, but in the other pictures, in the other images, they're not. Is this some kind of op to try and make us believe that Green Hills is closed when it isn't? When it is still open, but the only place that we see is the old town, which is closed because of some renovations. Now we can see some smoke. Or is it smoke? Is it gas? Is it some kind of weird chemical which was distributed on the population to make sure that they became cyclopses in the next generation to try and work out if it would make them better? Remember that human-animal hybrids do exist. They do actually exist in history if you actually have a look through the experiments. It's kind of a very, very odd thing of our time. Another thing that we can take from this image is that the highway or the monorail at the top does not have an end. Is that a portal to another dimension? This could also be possible, meaning that Green Hills has been shut down to stop people going through that portal, which takes them to the land of the lizard men. That's where they've come out of, that's where Bill Clinton's from, and that is where Mahatma Gandhi was able to pick up his stick and become celibate once again. All to do with this one single image. We can see what is going on here, that there has been some kind of fallout, that the fact that this smoke or this gas or whatever it is being used to control the population while Mahatma gets his rock on through the portal. Sheridans. Now, Sheridan's is an interesting tank. The reason why the Sheridan is an interesting tank is because it's big, it's because it's bulky, and it generally isn't used to stop the population. One thing that we have to understand about the Sheridan is because of its size, it has a large gun on it, it has a 50 cal on the top of it, and it doesn't have a lot of armor. So whatever the military is going up against here does not have crazy weapons when it comes to being able to penetrate armor. Or it could be another thing, where it has so much penetration, or it does so much damage, it doesn't matter that the Sheridan has armor or not, and only matters that the gun is big and that there's an ATGM. Maybe they are only good at killing stuff with ATGMs. The military in the city, what have they forgotten here? Well, it seems like they've forgotten that there's a weird gas around, which is probably doing their heads in. And on top of this as well, they're probably realizing that they have to protect the area from whatever is coming out of the portal. Which, at this point, because so many people have gone in and out, it could be weird hybrids of humans and aliens. It could be lizards. It could be anything that we've seen over the last 40 years. Maybe even the stereotypical alien just comes to say hello and needs to get brapped by the 50 cal. Where are gas masks? Now this is the true feeling. Why would this paper, the West Hills, be reporting on Green Hills, as we've already established earlier, that they are, that just like New York Times and California, they have areas of their journalistic expertise where they're going to be biased. Now, West Hills paper is asking, why are there no gas masks, or where are the gas masks? My question is if you've ever watched Doctor Who, and you've ever watched any show, there was a part of Doctor Who, the TV series, in the first season of the new Doctor Who, Christopher Eccleston, definite alien, but beautiful guy. On top of all of this, there was a 2-part episode in the London bombings, and there were these special microbes, right? They were like healing microbes, or they were healing little nanomachines. And what they did is they tried to heal someone to the best of their ability. And what they found was a dead kid who had a gas mask on, who was scared for his, who was scared and wanted his mummy. So what they did is they brought him back to life, attached the gas mask to his head, and then the only thing in his brain was kind of the last brainwave that was going on, which is, where is my mummy, or where are my mummy? And with that, what we saw was these nanobots were able to go around the place, and after learning that what they thought was true, which was that this kid was the stereotypical human, everybody who died, they changed into these gas mask warriors. Maybe that is what the West Hills is talking about. Maybe the West Hills wants there to be gas masks, so therefore the nano machines can take over and create an army of gas mask, unstoppable people who are constantly getting healed by these nano machines. Oh my god. What are we going to do with this information? Who knows? But let's see the next slide. Where are the gas masks? Again, once again emphasizing that they want people to have gas masks. And there's only one thing that is negative about this. If the gas masks don't work, or if they're trying to make these weird hybrids with the nanomachines. The military are frequent in Green Hills. How are they frequent if nobody's going in or out? Are only the military going in or out? What is it? Are they camping there? Or are they just going in and out? Are people still alive in Green Hills? Or is this all a cover-up? Maybe there's a military base there and they just try and train there. Maybe, once again, West Hills is spreading its propaganda to try and make it so their city is the one that people go to. And then, of course, we have another shot. This is daylight, so at least it isn't as cloudy and all of this. And was there a flash of light? Let's see. So we can see that there's some dead cars once again. There's a dead bus. There's some dead buildings. Nothing out of the ordinary, and a little bit of smoke. So once again, not a lot of smoke or gas or whatever this is. Instead, what we're seeing is a docile place where the people may have left, or maybe they've just become rabid dogs. Anything could happen here. The main thing that we have to take from this picture, though, is that it still can be daylight there, meaning that whatever is covering it is not a dome. Instead, it is open to the elements, and therefore, if there is something bad happening, this could spread to us right now, which is horrific. You need to get in your bunkers now. You need to make sure to get your food supplies and your tin cans. Get your guns ready, otherwise they're coming for you. The West Hills newspaper is coming for you on top of the US Army, on top of this gas. Don't put your gas mask on. Let's see. Chemical reactions with oxygen in the air. Strange lights. So, we have some chemicals which are coming from the people, it seems, in Green Hills, or maybe the buildings. Maybe there's just a ton of limestone around. On top of this, we also have General Dallas explains origins of mysterious flashes. General Dallas explains the origins of mysterious flashes. Seen above, the abandoned city of Green Hills. Well, it's not abandoned, the military are there, and we've also seen that there's a road going in with people going in and out. Which is it? There's also a bunch of cars here. There's obviously life when it comes to the trees and everything like that. So therefore, there must be a way that people can live there. There is no way that you'd have vegetation all over the place and there'd be no people. Instead, it seems that there's some weird cover-up going on where they are trying to experiment using this chemical plant, and they want everybody out of the region to try and create these nuclear armed soldiers that we talked about before, which may be bitten by frogs and are used in the Israeli-Lebanese war, which eventually go to Pripyat to annihilate Chernobyl in a big US attack on Soviet nuclear reactors. Maybe that's why the people were told to leave. Because I don't think they left on their own volition. The way that all of this is spread is that the people were not driven out, but instead were told to leave. Now, who were they told by is always the question, and it seems like it's General Dallas. Dallas, another city in the US, who was probably looking for more population, who was probably looking for more tourism and more money. Maybe if the idea from General Dallas here is to try and move people from Green Hills to Dallas so he can personally make more money as he is the owner of the city. We've got to remember these things. Next slide. Same slide again, emphasizing the fact that there's some strange lights around, which could be anything. You know, it could be easily a psyop to make people believe that something's going on. It could also mean just the sun peeking through the clouds. We don't know how heavy that mist is. Maybe there's some kind of translucent in the mist, which is making people think what is going on. Maybe it's Iron Man, or maybe it's Superman, or maybe it's the Torch out of Fantastic Four, a horrible movie which definitely explains why the rock people of outer space were able to come down and form the mountains as they did in Wales. Then we have another paper coming up. Is there anything on that paper, or is it just a general casual movement? Let's see. No, we can't see anything. So we have a few taxis. We have what seems to be some trees growing out of the ground. Why are there trees growing out of the ground? Maybe this is an experiment to try and get rid of soil, so we can cover the world in tarmac and we can cover the world in stone and not have to worry about planting trees in soil. That could be the reason. Maybe the idea is to try and get nutrients from everything, and what has happened here is the mist has turned and dissolved people and desensitized them to trees. Therefore, they all became tree huggers, got naked, wrapped themselves around the trees, and eventually fed them all the nutrients from their naked, luscious body. This is all possible. We can also see in the background here that we have another portal to another dimension. This might be, once again, towards the lizard men. This might be to heaven. This might be to hell. This also might be to Mars, where we can meet the Martians and the Coneheads from the 90s. Anything could happen from that monorail or from that motorway, whatever it is. All I know is that there is a portal at the end of it. I have been to the other side. I have seen Mahatma. I have seen the Clintons all around the table, all around on the Thought Council, all around contributing to the Illuminati, which you find out is run by the devil. What are they holding back? He could not remember any of the streets in the town. In a recent West Hills Times interview, a former citizen of Green Hills could not remember any street in the town or a public library at his given old address. This is obviously a false flag. April 1st, 1992, as well. As you can see in the top right corner there. Well, actually, my face might be in the way, so I'm sorry about that. I'm also covering up the truth. Sorry, that was a bit of a weird one. So, the Green Hills and the West Hills newspaper is reporting on somebody who used to be a resident of this area who cannot remember any of the streets in the town. He can't remember the public library. He can't remember anything apart from his old address. How does he remember that and nothing else? Isn't that a bit odd? Maybe the West Hills are once again lying. Maybe this guy's Alzheimer's. Could be. Maybe he has nothing to do with the situation, and he's just a random person who has come from West Hills and never actually came to Green Hills. Maybe they fed him information to try and make it seem that this guy doesn't know what's going on, when everybody knows what's going on. But if they tell, maybe the microchip in their brain explodes and they die. So they can't talk about it. Maybe there's nothing going on at all, and this is once again all a huge conspiracy. But my feeling is instead of telling the truth, and instead of letting us know what's going on, it is safe for this man or woman to lie, or And I say man or woman, even though it says he, you never know what he might identify nowadays, especially when we have bisexual, unilateral, lizard people running around the place which can co-produce with themselves. You've always got to watch out for these things. Now, yeah, he could just have Alzheimer's. He could just be lying. We can't take this as truth. This sounds exactly like what a false flag would be. Former citizen of Green could not remember any street in or the public library at his given old address. Now we have the key part. It's another portal into another dimension. This must be the 5th or 6th dimension at this point. We also have some skyscrapers on the right hand side there which look absolutely beautiful, and once again they're still all alive. There's a little bit of unfortunate debris over there which was probably caused by a bit of excrement from either a massive monster or some form of Godzilla, and we also have some form of river going through the place, which we inevitably dive into. So the question is, what is in the river? Now we know from 90s pop culture that Godzilla likes rivers. He attacked New York, just like he has also attacked Green Hills in the 90s, 1992. We also know that frogs like the river, and after going on their mental spree of turning gay, they've decided to attack aggressively the humans who they believe don't accept them in their life choices. This has from their radioactive selves been given humans at the end of the day some kind of reactive properties and radioactive properties which they took into the nuclear plant, turning people on fire and making them into super soldiers which are being used by the US military to fight their wars abroad. This is all a huge cover-up by every magazine around the place, by every newspaper out there. We need to get the word out that nuclear, frog, human hybrids are being used by the US Army, at least in the 90s. Who knows now, they might all be dead. We'll have to find them. They can't remember where they're from, but you know what they can't change? The fact that they're on fire and they smell like frogs. And that they give birth to smaller little nuclear frogs who are aggressive and can attack enemy combatants in war. Go and look up the Israeli-Lebanese war. My feeling is there may be some factors there which don't really add up, and we can definitely put it towards these hybrids. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.